Hello everybody, my name is Logan Knife and welcome to Damn Late Reviews, a series in which I review older titles. Today we'll be looking at the game that redefines self-action, Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell came out all the way back in 2002, and over 20 years later is still a phenomenal game. I have on multiple occasions had to stop myself from just quitting everything on this video and going back and playing the game. It is the only other game in my mind that I can think of at this moment where I can constantly go in for another playthrough right after finishing the game. And that other game, of course, being MGS1. But look at me. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm already gushing about the game. I haven't even told you about the characters, the story, hell, even the fucking gameplay. So let me get on to that. So you play as the great Sam Fisher. He's a career soldier who's been around the block a handful of times. He is voiced by the amazing Michael Ironside. If it wasn't for Michael Ironside's voice, his character just would not have the snap that it has in the games. Your support team consists of Irving Lambert, an old friend of Sam's, Anna Grimm's daughter, basically your tech person, and then Junior Wilkes. He's your weapons guy. He's not like Sigint, where you can't. He's not at all like Sigint. You can't just pull out your 5.7, call him up in the codec, and have him an artistic detail list all the cool things about the 5.7. But I digress. These are your main people. These are the main guys you're going to be talking to throughout the game. They're your support team, so you should get to know them. They all got amazing personalities. They all got their own little sense of humors and their own bits of wit. Now, let's talk about the story. Now, the story begins with Sam Fisher getting contacted by Irving Lambert, of course, his old pal, and of course, the person I mentioned before, to join the NSA with the Splinter Cell initiative and be a part of Third Echelon. It's a little secret subsect in the NSA. The first mission of the game, actually, is a training ground, which I do enjoy when a game's tutorial is mixed in with the story. But let's talk about the first real mission in the game. The whole thing starts off with the ex-Prime Minister of Georgia, the country, not the state, dying in a car bomb. A couple weeks later, a guy by the name of Combane Nicolaj takes over the government in a bloodless coup. Now this is where we come in, because two CIA agents, Blaustein and Madison, go missing. Their subdermals go offline, and they send in Third Echelon. We have to sneak through the streets of Georgia all the way to the police station. You go through Blaustein's old apartment and you find out, of course, his subdermals had gone online several hours ago, and CIA, being the CIA, does not inform anybody. I mean, it's like clockwork. So you go through, and you go to the police station, and there you find the bodies of Blaustein and Madison. So, that's already kind of fucked. And after this, you go over to the Defense Ministry, because a couple of documents and information you took from the police station points to the Defense Ministry. So that's where the second mission goes to. Now this is like one of my favorite missions in the game. It's a great stealth playground. It's really good and really fun. But I digress. You spy on a couple of goobers who, of course, talk about, the spies while seeing a Madison going up an elevator. And you go into a officer's, office, of course, and you find out that they've been doing an ethnic cleansing in Azerbaijan, which could start a war. So after you leave the defense ministry, you go to an offshore oil facility to try to grab a suitcase from some geek. This is basically a filler mission. This is quite literally the most filler mission of filler missions. It takes like 5 minutes, you just walk around for 2 seconds, then you have to chase the guy. But after you get the information here, now after this attack on the oil facility, a giant information attack and a giant basically cyber terrorist attack happens on the mainland of the United States. It shuts down the power, many hospitals go down, and many lives are lost. Now, Third Echelon gets to pull the CIA and start working on domestic soil and invades the CIA office. Isn't that fun? And in this mission, you go to Mr. Doherty's computer and you kind of kidnap him. And you find out that a member of Cobain's party, a guy called Grinko, exploited this guy's weakness, and now some shit's happening on the other part of Langley. And that's the Caltech mission. Now, the Caltech mission sucks. It is the most combat-heavy mission in the game, in a game where combat is very much discouraged. But I'll get into that when I talk about gameplay. Don't you fucking worry. During this mission, you have to slink through a burning building, which is fun. You have to disarm mines that sometimes just decide not to disarm and explode in your hands. And you have to go and steal a phone from I can't quite remember if he was a mole or a guy who had a change of heart and started giving information to the NSA. But whichever one it was, you get the information and you book it up to the roof to be flown out by Pequod. And this is where my favorite character, second favorite character in this game dies, Mr. Junior Wilkes. He tries to play action hero and gets shot badly. And this takes us to the Chinese Embassy mission, which is another great mission that I really love. Because it seems that China might have something to do with Combay Nicolaides and what's going on in Georgia and Azerbaijan, which they do, somewhat. A Splinter faction headed by Kong Farang, I butchered that for sure, I know, is working independently of the Chinese government. After you get this information by using the laser mic, which is a cool mechanic, but not really used much. After this, you then book it over to where they're holding American soldiers, because I forgot to mention, because my brain is small, the main reason why we're doing all this is because they have American prisoners and they've attacked American soil, so it's basically World War III if we don't get this shit right. So, and this is a really good stealth level, really fun, really great. Has some annoying bits, especially with the freezer section, but all in all, a really good mission. It ends with a trashy forced combat encounter, which sucks, but hey, we gotta take what we can get. We go and kill Grinko, and then we have to book our ass back after getting information from a couple of Chinese prisoners who were against Kong Farang, who were being held in the same area, probably for execution as well. We have to then book our ass over to the Chinese Embassy again and do a bit of a... we have to do Chinese Embassy 2 Electric Boogaloo. And this is another great mission. It's got amazing stealth set pieces. It's got one that I kind of dislike because I'm extremely impatient. I kept walking too fast in the water and getting caught, but it's a great little stealth mission. And you encounter Mr. Kong Farang. Him in a drunken stupor trying to blow his brains out, you force him to give you information about everything clearing China's name, and having it all do with Kong Farang, because we kind of don't want a third world war on our hands now, do we? And after this, Mr. Nicolaides is ousted from power, but He's still over in the presidential palace, and you have to basically get him because he's got a fucking suitcase nuke. He's got basically a suitcase nuke. Which takes us on to the final mission in the game, which I enjoy this mission. I wish I played it a lot better on my playthrough on the channel, which you can go check out down below. Wish I did a lot better on it for you guys, but it's a really great mission. It's really fun if you're not impatient like me. Of course, it has some of the greatest stealth sections of the game, next to some of the worst force combat encounters in the game. Like the little elevator thing where you have to... my lights go out. I hope that's the battery. Nope, it's the wiring. I'm leaving that in. I'm leaving that one in. Like the little elevator portion going down into the library is really good, but of course in the library is the force combat encounter. But you go into the basement of the library and you find Mr. Combay Nicolades, and you basically force him to open the little thing where the arc, which is basically the nuke, is. Well, at least the arming device, if my brain is correct. But of course, before you can do that, Georgian Special Forces show up and kind of ruin it. Combay tries to get out of this thing by worming a lion. The Americans have the code to disarm the bomb, which is a lie. We don't know shit. So then we have to go into another force combat encounter, which this one's okay. It's fine, I guess. But when the lights go down, you basically have to knock out everybody. Of course, the team before took Combay Nicolades, and you now have to chase after him. And Irving Lambert gives you access to the Fifth Freedom, and basically you put LBJ in the office.
Sharp work, Fisher.
So you pop Combay's melon, you make a mad dash to the exit line to get your ass over to Pequod, which then leads you to an extremely pixelated cutscene, which I kind of find endearing here and there. But after this, a nice cutscene plays where Sam's back at home with his daughter Sarah, watching the TV, when the president comes on and says, basically congratulates the bravery of the U.S. troops and the U.S. people through these trying times. Of course, Sam giggling and laughing because it wouldn't have been possible without him. But like always, he doesn't get the recognition he deserves. Not even that he wants it, though. You then get a call from Lambert, which sets up a sequel. The story's a bit on the shorter side, but it's still a really great game. But it's still a really, really good game. A little bit on the shorter side, but still really fun with a great story. And like I said in the beginning, I can play this game basically in and out, every single day. But enough about the story. Let's now talk about what you're actually going to be, doing as the controls. Let's get on to the gameplay. Alright. Now, the controls in the game are, your standard control. WASD to move, your mouse to look around, aim, and shoot. But space is to interact, and shift is to jump. Why is it shift? I don't fucking know. If you're not used to it in the beginning, you're gonna have a couple little problems here and there, but it's fine. After a minute, the fucking controls melt into your brain, and it just feels great. Now, you are able to jump on pipes and crawl along them. You're able to crouch on the pipes to basically hook your legs over and be able to squeeze into spaces you wouldn't otherwise be able to, which is very useful. You're able to zip line down with certain things, and of course you're able to climb. You have this ability to do the split jump, which is a really fun thing to do. But of course, these are all your movement options. You also let's talk about utility, of course, with the famous tri-goggles. Some great utilities there. You've got, of course, the night vision, which is a staple of the series. You have the thermal vision, which is used in a very creative portion and a very annoying bit, the freezer section in the prisoner mission, but very creative in the penultimate mission, where you use the thermal goggles to see the little fingerprints of the last person who used the keypad to get into a door. It's very creative. I wish they used it a lot more in this game, but it's fine. It's fucking phenomenal, and I love it. Now, that's the utility. That's talking about, the stuff in your head. You also have access to lockpicks and the laser mic. The laser mic, which I mentioned before, is only used twice in the game. Once for listening in on a conversation in the elevator in the Defense Ministry mission, which is Mission 2, and again during the first portion of the, not the first portion, but the first, Chinese embassy mission. After that, it's basically useless. It's basically never used anywhere else. Think of it like the directional mic in MGS2. It's used once, then never again, and it just takes up an inventory slot, basically. Now let's talk about weapons. In this game, Sam Fisher uses the iconic FN57, created by Fabric Nationale de Herstal, which is a fucking beautiful firearm and has an internal. Look, I'm fucking turning into Sigan. I'm not gonna geek out about the 5.7. I promise. I hope. Halfway through the game, during the CIA mission, however, you do get a second gun, which is another FN product. This time shaped in 5.56, the FN2000K, or how it's lovingly referred to in this game, the SC2000K for Splinter Cell. It has an underbarrel grenade launcher, which shoots airfoil rounds, sticky shockers, sticky cameras, and distraction cameras. And after the CIA mission, you get a whole lot of course, with the sticky shockers and whatnot, distraction cameras, gas grenades, and airfoil rounds, you're actually able to do a lot more non-lethal stealth, which is really fun. This is where this game shines at. You can shoot the sticky shockers into the water to basically tase people, tase a large group of people if multiple people in water, which is really fun to do. Is really useful during the sewer section, during the first embassy mission. And it's just really fun to use. Gas grenade, of course, it's, knockout gas. The distraction cameras also have a thing of gas, which is really useful in a lot of areas. It also has a sniper rifle attachment, basically just aim down sights. And it's really fun to use, and I love it so much. Just really cool games. There's really cool guns in this game, and I love it so much. Now, those are basically your weapons. You have the 5.7 and the 2000K. Beautiful guns, beautiful weapons. Way too expensive for my blood to ever be able to own one, at least for now. Oh god, I love the fucking 5.7. Oh my god. But as I was saying, the controls, of course, everything is basically standard except for the shift button being jump, which is kind of weird. But everything else is just perfect. But now let's talk about the shooting. I made reference to this a couple of times throughout the video, mainly when I talk about how much I hate the forced combat sections. It's because the shooting in this game is dog shit. Like literal dog shit. You can quite literally sit there, aim your gun straight, but of course, Sam wants to do his best, Waco Kid impression, and for some reason you can have it perfectly lined up, your reticle is perfectly on a line, and you pull the trigger, and it's gonna fly into a guard 4 states over. It fucking sucks. And it basically tells you to not rely on combat because Sam apparently is going through alcohol withdrawals and can't keep his fucking hands steady. But of course, there are forced combat encounters which make the gunplay suck fucking monkey dick. So, during the last mission, I hope you weren't using your sticky shockers and your airfoil rounds a lot to non-lethally dispatch guards from a distance, because you're gonna fucking need them because the shooting sucks. It just does. And it sucks when you're trying to shoot out a light, and it quite literally misses over and over again. I have quite literally had times where I had to reload my gun. I was at like half ammo, and I had to reload it to break the glass on a bolt. Fucking sucks. And like, that's the only point against this game, is that the forced combat encounters. If it wasn't for the forced combat encounters, I would have zero qualms with the game, zero problems. There's only one, like, stinker of a mission, and that's the fucking Caltech mission. And that's because it has some forced combat sections, and it has the mines that sometimes just will just explode in your fucking hands when you try to defuse them. But I can't truly hold that against the game. But yeah, the only problem is just the shooting with this game. If there wasn't forced combat encounters, it wouldn't be a problem, because it's a stealth game. You shouldn't be fucking you shouldn't be over reliant on guns, and you shouldn't be overly reliant on, lethal stuff, because it's kind of, encouraged to be non-lethal and stealthy and just slink around through the shadows. But when it comes to the forced combat sections, you can't really do that. Unless you have, of course, your 600 stacks of sticky shockers, gas grenades, fucking Air Force, and just like, if you didn't use any of those throughout the mission, which, if you're like me, you use them, not a good bit, but you used enough of them to where you don't have enough to non-lethally dispatch a room in a forced combat encounter, it just sucks. That's the best way I can just describe it. It just sucks. It just kind of sucks. But enough of me blabbing around about how bad the shooting is and whatnot. What's my review on the game? I want you want to know, don't you? That's why you're here. That's why I clicked on this video. Well, I'll tell you. I was gushing about this game in the beginning. This game series has a soft spot in my heart. Whenever I wasn't playing the games, I was watching other people play them. I remember on day one seeing all the node videos on the Spy vs. Mercs mode in Blacklist. I remember seeing the Dope and Note videos on Splinter Cell from Smosh back in the day. It's just a very near and dear series to my heart. And it's this close to being perfect. It is this close to being perfect. But of course, with the forced combat encounters, with a system that doesn't really encourage combat, it's so close. It's so close to being a Pinkerton. It is so close, but it's a blue. It's gotta be a fucking blue album. It's the first in the season. Everything that comes after it, except for 2, at least try to top at least the stealth. Try to fix the combat, give you more utility and more tools to be able to slink through. They get rid of the forced combat encounters entirely. And I love that. But I can't, take away points from something that because the other games in the series are just better than it. It's the first game in the series. It fucking should. The other games should be better than it. So, this is a blue album. This is the fucking blue album. This is the Women and Children First. This is the blue album. This is a 9 out of 10. It is so close. It is this close to being absolutely Kino. This close, but just those forced combat counters just really bring it down just enough to where I can't give it a 10 out of 10. This game, on any day, switches between being my favorite in the series or my second favorite with, Chaos 2. I have, on multiple days, trying to write up this script, I've been trying to figure out what I should rate this game. Because some days when I'm going, it's like, oh, this game is absolute Kino. I love this game. This game is better than Chaos 2. But then I sit down again, I'm like, it's not exactly better than Chaos 3. Chaos 3 has a lot more tools and whatnot. But it's a great game. But yeah, if you haven't, everyone watching this, if you haven't already, I want you to go out and buy the fucking game. The game is like $2.50 on Steam right now. I think the sale ends on the 12th, which should be the day after this comes out. Go and get it. You can get the entire series for like fucking $16. However, word to the wise, I would suggest skipping out on Conviction, because that game is fucking trash. Go out and get it. Just go out and get the game. It's absolutely amazing. You won't regret the fucking money you spent on it. Fuck, I would spend, it's $10 normally, but right now it's $2.50. Go fucking buy it. Go. What are you doing? Buy the game. Buy it now. Go get it. You will not be salty. But anyways, I've been Logan the Knife. This has been Damn Late Reviews, and thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye.